Task Force TV, live from the 27th National Conference on LGBTQ Equality, Creating Change in Denver, Colorado.
And now I'm joined by a few of the many members of the Task Force Academy. Kathleen, Rodney, Sarah, thanks for hanging out. How you doing?
Good, great.
Excited. First, let's paint the picture of the Academy. I mean, let's face it, someone can have the best ideas ever when it comes to progress and change in an office somewhere like in DC, but unless you're actually out there around the communities around the country, nothing's really getting done, right? So just describe the Academy's work.
Yeah, so we have a team of 11 folks that do organizing at both the state and faith level. So at the ballot box, at the church house, and in state legislatures. We are doing leadership development and capacity building. We're doing coaching and organizational development. We're everywhere. Our folks are on the ground in Ohio, in Florida. It's just really exciting. We're going to be in Utah, Texas, Michigan, Arizona over the coming months. It's really exciting. Yeah, it's hard to get work done in this way, building power from the ground up for LGBTQ people, if you're sitting at your desk in DC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can be out there somewhere.
Or New York,
right.
or Minneapolis.
And someone can be sitting there in their tiny town in the middle of nowhere and think, well, gee, I had these great ideas, I want to help, but what can I do here, right? But that's what you guys are out there doing, right?
That's or like towns like Pocatello, Idaho. So this past year we were in Pocatello working with the folks there who were facing a repeal of their recently passed trans inclusive non-discrimination ordinance. And they're a community that deserved to stand up, fight back, and win. And we were able to partner with those good folk and do it.
Fantastic. So, Rodney and Kathleen, describe then that sort of intersection of this sort of grassroots sort of methods and the faith-based work you guys do.
Yeah, well, you know, it used to be a given that when you talked about people of faith, you were talking about people who were oppositional to LGBT people, but that's just not true anymore at all. People of faith all over this country, in every denomination and every spiritual practice, are really with us, and they're becoming more and more understanding of what that means, how they can not just be supportive in their congregations, but they can actually come on out into the streets with us and really help make some progress. So that's really a lot of fun. We find support in all kinds of places. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and for us, you know, faith matters. So our faith matters, and we know that LGBTQ people are people of faith. And so we have an opportunity in the public square to actually talk about what we believe in, to talk about who and what we are, and to talk about how we worship, and to utilize our faith, to stand in our faith, to actually share in communities that right-wing forces or people who say that our lives don't matter because of our faith is wrong. And so we're pushing back.
And what do you find when you're out there in communities around the country? So you come across somebody that's really just not aware of what you guys are working on or pushing towards. Do you find like just more opposition, or do you find someone more like, oh, gee, I never really thought of that?
Exactly. It's much more the second way because, you know, lots of people think that it's 2015, so of course lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people have protections all over the country. They're protected in the workplace, but that's just not true. And so people of faith are the most surprised and the most ready to really stand and talk about what we can do about this. So.
And in fact, I'm going to tell a story on Evangeline, who's not here, but and Kathleen, you can fill in. We were doing team was doing postcarding in the rain with a leadership cohort we had this fall in Columbus. What town?
Loveland, Ohio.
Loveland, Ohio. And Evangeline was doing this postcarding, and this husband and wife, bikers, were outside this pizza joint. Evangeline asked them to sign our postcard for trans-inclusive non-discrimination in Ohio. And they did, and they talked about it, and they identified themselves as people of faith. They thanked her for her work, and then asked her if they could give her a hug. Right, so it's like busting myths and stereotypes about who's with us and who's not, right? Mm-hmm. Tattooed up biker dude riding his Harley in Loveland, Ohio, right, with us.
Yes.
And we wouldn't know it if we didn't talk to him.
Absolutely.
And that's why, you know, we're doing this Faith and Families LGBTQ Power Summit on October 20th through the 23rd in Salt Lake City, Utah. for that exact reason. And we believe that it's important to share those stories, and so that people of faith who are LGBT, people of faith who are our allies, can be trained and to learn about how to talk about this issue in the public square, and to get the tools and the capacity building and the skills to actually do more faith work in their local communities.
And they can get more skills here at Creating Change.
Exactly.
We have an entire track called Practice Spirit, Do Justice. And it's not all of the faith experience here at Creating Change. There's a shower of stoles, there's Shabbat on Friday night, there's Muslim prayer service, there is an interfaith service on Sunday morning. We have the Shower of Souls exhibit, which is one of my favorite things of the task force. So there's really, if you're a person of faith, if you're seeking faith, if you just want a place to be with people who are in their faith and spirituality, it's here at Creating Change. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what's so beautiful, though, about the intersection between politics and faith. You know, when I was a little black gay boy growing up in Dallas, Texas, in a church where I heard every day or every Sunday that my life was wrong because I was gay, I dreamed of a place, or dreamed of an organization like the task force that understood not only the political part of me, but also the faith part of me, and how to put those things together. And I feel like that's what our team is really doing.
And it's that young version of you out there in the country that you guys are out there touching and communicating with and inspiring, right?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you mentioned Ohio a minute ago, because from what I understand, that's one of your areas of the country in which you're doing a lot of concentrating on. Are there any other kind of hot areas that where things are happening and issues are going on that you're more concentrating on around the country?
Well, I think North Carolina is a place that we're paying attention to a lot. Michigan, Arizona, with this new kind of wave of what's being called Religious Freedom Restoration Acts, which are really some political maneuvers to take religion and kind of disguise discrimination against LGBT people, and kind of, it's really almost like tricking people of faith into thinking that something is going to get taken away from them if we give LGBT people rights. And so we're out there and we're talking to people, and in these states and probably many others, just to really help people understand and be in community together. And that's one of the things that I get to do tomorrow on Friday here at Creating Change, is do 2 workshops that are going to talk about that and really help us brainstorm, like, what does it mean for people of faith to be in action? What does it mean for them to do work together across faiths and see what we can come up with, some new tactics, some new strategies. Yeah.
And we're doing work in Miami, Florida right now with the folks at Saved Aid. So a lot of our work is centered and deals with trans inclusion and protections for trans and gender nonconforming folks. So right now we're in the middle of a project in Miami to make sure that the recently included gender identity and expression amendments to the existing non-discrimination ordinance are able to withstand a threat of repeal at the ballot box. So we're down there helping build canvases, taken the good work over the course of many years about how can we talk to voters more effectively and move them to be with us. And so we're excited. We're going to do one of our leadership trainings in May called a Power Summit. It's 3 days, the first weekend of May. It's a 3-day leadership skills training. Would invite anyone who wants to learn more about this grassroots organizing to come join us. Yeah.
And how can people find you? Because if maybe they're out there somewhere in the country and they're like, hey, I want to help out, I want to get involved.
Well, one of the best ways to find us is online at the website, so thetaskforce.org. And if we can't say yes, we can't come to your hometown, we can't help out right away, we have another way to help, which is the Online Organizing Academy. And it's an online curriculum of our core organizing skills and a resource library. And so folks can go to thetaskforce.org/online academy, request a login, and they can get to us virtually. We get so many requests, we can't say yes to everyone.
Wow.
But this is our way. We can say yes 24/7, 365.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You guys are doing some amazing work. Thanks for taking a few minutes. You have a busy Creating Change, I know that. It's like Academy is all over the place pretty much. So
it's true.
Thanks for taking a few moments. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks
all
so
right.
much.
We got more from Creating Change 2015 here on Task Force TV. So check back with us.
Task Force TV, live from the 27th National Conference on LGBTQ Equality, Creating Change in Denver, Colorado.